Welcome to the Car Guys, and this week we have a piece of 70s and 80s Nirvana for you.
You cannot believe how nice this beautiful Italian mid-engine sports car is. This is the Bertone X1. So I brought this beautiful car down to the Octane collection for no other reason than to gaze at this fabulous yellow Carrera GT. So before we kick off with the Bertone X1 full review, quick wristwatch check. This week I've got on my old faithful, it's a classic Batman Rolex. And I've gone for double Batman this week. Look at that. Oh, that's amazing. Look at that. Oh.
The Batgirl.
It's not the Batgirl. We're not talking. It's not a girl. It's a Batman. It's a proper man's watch. This is. It's not a girl's watch.
It is. I'm afraid it is. I'm afraid that's the Batgirl, and this is the Batman. Right. So this is it. This is a Bertone X1, not a Fiat X1, which is how it started off in the 70s. So in 1982, they changed to being Bertone X1s, and they were actually built in-house at the Bertone factory. No Fiat badging on it whatsoever.
And that is a bloody good thing.
Now, I have always wanted to drive one of these, okay? I had a little model car of this when I was a little boy, and I remember vividly it was a Fiat X1 in cream with green stripes, and it was pulling a Carlsberg powerboat on a trailer. And it was my pride and joy, and I took it to school, and I was playing with it at school in class, and Mrs. Henderson confiscated it from me, and I never saw it again. So this is in your face, Mrs. Henderson. I'm now driving a Bertone X1. So what do we think? What do we think of this monster?
You know how wagon wheels seem to have got smaller as we've got older? Because frankly, this is a very, very tiny car. I mean, it's perfectly formed in every way, but it is absolutely tiny. Getting in and out of it, well, put it this way, you wouldn't want to get in an accident and have to get out of it really, really quickly, because it takes a bit of effort.
Also, it's probably made of tin foil, so if you get into an accident, it's going to fold around you like a tuna sandwich.
Yeah, there is that problem. This particular model is the GRAN FINALE, no less. So basically, Fiat got bored with building X1s. They gave all the bits to Bertone. They said, oh yeah, we'll finish this off for you. And they built them. So we're hoping this is maybe a bit better screwed together.
As you'll have seen in our Guess the Alpha episode, that's where we first revealed this car. So I got my hands on the keys and immediately went for a good long drive. And I've had it for a few days. So I thought, well, what would be the best way to celebrate this car? I thought, let's bring it down here to the Octane collection and Fast Classics and show it off a bit and park it next to a Carrera GT and an Aventador and a beautiful replica 550 Spider. I've never seen a Fiat or Bertone X1 in dark metallic blue, which means instantly I'm in love with it. I'm in love with the interior, I'm in love with the size, the shape, the fact that it's a beautiful 70s wedge designed by Marcello Gandini. I agree with Jason, I like the fact that it's the Grand Finale, which means it's right at the end. They've sorted out all the bugs and gremlins, they probably built it properly, and this is one last hurrah for the Bertone X1. Here's one of the little details that I particularly like. Now, you know that you have like old aerials on these cars, you know, actual aerials. They're not integrated into the windows like they are in modern cars. They stick out of the bodywork. And the guys who designed the Fiat X1 Bertone X1 thought, well, we need to put the aerial here, but hang on a minute, this is also where the wing goes. So look, they've just cut out the wing to fit the aerial. That is ingenious Italian engineering. Not.
I've got a sneaky suspicion that the spoiler or wing on the back of this car is only here just for aesthetics and for no downforce, apart from the fact that you probably can't get enough speed to get it to work downforce. But it looks like it's on back to front, and I wonder whether that's because when they said to the guy to cut out the hole for the aerial, he cut it out on the wrong side, and they went, oh bugger it, we'll just put it on that way round. And they switched it and put it on like that. I mean, that could be the reason.
So two things I immediately love in here with these eccentric cars. First of all, the interior light for the car. Rather than putting it up here, as you'd expect, which would have required some unnecessary wiring, they just put it in the side of the door. There it is. Look at that. Genius. Absolute genius. As you can tell, it's quite a hot day, and I'm I'm trying desperately not to make myself look like a slab of gammon. Also, what I love down here is that for the electric windows, you actually have a button for up and a button for down. Fantastic. Just twice as many chances to go wrong. The thing that immediately strikes you as well, sitting in this car, is that every single switch is different. It's an entirely different switch, probably from the Fiat entire parts catalogue, but there's no two that are the same.
Same shape or size.
That's right. Same shape, size, or even action.
Or colour.
We've got them all. We've got every single possible connotation of actuator or button all in one car. Case in point, the pop-up headlights button, the electric windows button. On the dashboard here, we've got one inexplicable button, which is a big Bakelite switch like you get in old Minis. No idea what that's for. We've got sliders, we've got switches, we've got buttons, where the whole panel moves. We've got clicky buttons, we've got soft buttons, we've got obviously a cassette player. Inside the glove compartment, I've already found 2 tapes, one of which is Foreigner and the other one is Robbie Williams.
Boom!
This is allegedly Bertone's signature, but to be honest, I reckon it just says Luciano Bentlong. But undoubtedly, it's just the sensational 70s wedge shape that makes the X19 so alluring, so fantastic, so evocative for people of our age. But enough of all this walking around the car and criticising the buttons business. Let's take it out for a drive, and you're coming along too. Ho 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 ho! Here we go then. The Bertone X1. First thing to say, it's tiny, it's ancient, it's very 70s, but at the same time, super cool. It is a great, look at it, look at this cloth. It's insane. I love it. It's so kitsch that it's almost come full circle to be acceptable in the modern world, almost. The one fact that everyone knows about the Fiat or Bertone X1 is that the rev counter revs the opposite way to everything else. In that regard, it's the same as the Aston Martin V8 Vantage, which did the same trick, and but this is where it was first. This is the one thing that everyone says about this car. Let's start it up. Ah, sweet revving 1500cc engine. And obviously, even though it's blinding outside, I will not be wearing my sunglasses out of respect for you. Here we go. This is it. I'm driving a Bertone X1. Here we go. As you'd expect, the handling and general car control is quite ancient. You are not going to mistake this car, God almighty. Yeah, the steering is pretty imprecise. It's quite floaty on its suspension, and as a consequence, when you pitch it into a corner, it feels like it's going to rotate every single time. Oh, those brakes are bad. Scary, scary brakes. Scary, scary. It feels like that your foot is going to the floor every time you put the brakes. So maybe they need a little bit of attention. But I'm driving an X1. This is like a childhood dream ever since I had that little toy. Here we go, on some lanes. Originally, the Fiat X1 came with a 1.3 litre engine, but just about the time they became Bertones, they were upgraded to 1.5, so that gives you a much needed increase in power. It's a snorty little exhaust. I wouldn't call the engine noise that pleasurable. There's no driver's aids, it's skitty, it's all over the place. Gear change is good and positive and strong. It's actually quite a heavy gear change. It's bouncing off every little bump in the road. I'm having to fight it to keep it straight, but it's so light, this car. It weighs 900 kilograms, so the responses to your accelerator inputs are immediate. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I mean, it's not what you would call quick by modern standards. Oh, it's a lot of lean. But it is a surprising amount of fun. It just feels like it's going to kill you at any minute. This car was launched in 1972, and then 10 years later the whole operation was shipped across Turin to the Bertone factory, and from 82 to 1989, which is when this car was made, they were made by Bertone. Do you think the stereo works? Stereo works. Top speed of this thing, 112 miles an hour. Have a guess about the 0 to 60. 1.5 engine, weighs less than a ton. What do you think the 0 to 60 is? Nope, you're wrong. 10.1 seconds. Let's see what the turning oh, this is going to be good. Oh, look at that. Oh. Woo. Well, the tyres have clearly seen better days in this car. Let's try some beans, shall we? So, let's bring it down a little bit. Here we go. It's time for some beans. 3,000 RPM, I'm in second. Here we go with some beans. X19, foot down. 5, 6, change. 4, 5. It's not bad. It's a lot of fun, isn't it? Obviously, by modern standards, it would be out-dragged by a transit van, but that's not the point with a car like this. I mean, I'm not sure I want one, but it is an absolute joy to be driving this little dark blue gem. Oh, that was a pothole. It's only done 16,000 miles. It's in absolute pristine condition. I've got the top off. It's 31 degrees out. I'm in the English countryside, and I'm in an X19, a car of my childhood. This is what the Car Guys is all about. You've come along for the ride and you're experiencing right now in the passenger seat. Hopefully I'm not going to end up in a hedge. Oh. Hitch into the corner, lot of roll. It might not be the fastest, it might not be the best handling, might not be the most reliable car of its era, but it is tremendous fun. Final summing up, it's about what I was expecting in terms of a driving experience. It's lithe, it's nimble, it's reasonably quick. It won't set your hair on fire, but it has an awful lot of charm, and that's, let's face it, that's what you want from a car like this. I'm a big fan of this car. I'm so pleased I got the chance to drive it. These cars, through rust and reliability problems, don't really exist anymore, so to find one in this condition is exceptionally rare. But now I think it's time for a nice cold beer. Back to the studio. Thanks for watching this episode on the simply gorgeous Bertone X19.
Really hope you've enjoyed it. Damian's relived some parts of his youth. I've had just the most amazing day. So please subscribe, leave comments because we read them all. Don't forget to ding the notification bell for when we have another episode uploaded. Ding! Find us on Instagram, Facebook and our website, and we'll see you on the next episode.
There'll be another episode of The Car Guys along next week.